There's something most people don't realize about their brain, and it has everything to do with building habits. We think of habits as things that are hard to break, right? It takes sheer willpower to go on a diet, or stop smoking, or get out of bed early. But if we look deeper at what a habit really is, we discover it's just a behavior that your brain has been trained to do on autopilot. And so the truth is, it's actually quite easy to build a new habit. It just feels hard because we think it's going to take sheer willpower. So in this video, we're going to dive into the surprising truth that the secret to building and breaking any habit is not about relying on willpower, but about using the science of your brain to create effortless new behaviors by understanding how your brain's reward systems and neural pathways can be rewired for lasting change. For example, let's say you want to start working out more. Hit the gym 4 days a week. Bang, 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 like clockwork. That's a great goal, but let's imagine a scenario. You get yourself to the gym 2 weeks in a row. Then life happens, right? You get caught up in work, you have a family emergency, and suddenly you miss a day at the gym. And when that happens, what usually follows? Oh, I blew it. I might as well wait till next week to get back on track. Does that sound familiar? Well, there's a reason why this happens, and it has to do with the way our brains are wired. You see, the key to building a habit lies in understanding how your brain's reward system works. Every time you engage in a behavior, your brain releases a cocktail of neurotransmitters, chemicals that play a crucial role in how we feel and how we act. Dopamine, for instance, is the neurotransmitter associated with pleasure and reward. When you eat a delicious meal or watch your favorite show, your dopamine levels surge, signaling to your brain that, hey, this felt good, do it again. But here's where it gets interesting. The more you repeat a behavior, the more your brain adapts and adjusts the amount of dopamine released each time. This is known as the adaptation or the habituation of the reward system. So going back to our workout example, let's say you've been working out regularly for 2 weeks. Your brain has grown accustomed to the post-workout dopamine rush, and now it needs more and more of that same high to feel the same level of satisfaction. If one day you skip the workout, your brain doesn't get the expected dopamine release, leading to feelings of irritability, restlessness, or even anxiety. This is your brain's way of saying, hey, where's my reward? I was expecting a dopamine surge from working out. The problem arises when you give in to those feelings and decide to wait till next week to get back on track. By doing so, you're essentially telling your brain that working out is no longer a reliable source of dopamine, which means it'll stop producing the same level of dopamine every time you work out. In other words, you've broken the chain, and now it's harder than ever to get back into your workout routine. But it doesn't have to be this way. Here's the fascinating part. By understanding how your brain's reward system works, you can use it to your advantage. Instead of relying on sheer willpower to stick to your goals, you can design your environment and habits in a way that makes it easier for your brain to associate positive feelings with your desired behaviors. This is exactly what the concept of gamification aims to achieve. By introducing game-like elements such as points, badges, and leaderboards, gamification transforms mundane tasks into fun challenges, making it easier for your brain to associate positive emotions like dopamine with those tasks. For instance, let's say you're trying to read more books. You can use an app like Goodreads to track your reading progress and earn virtual badges for finishing books. These small achievements can trigger dopamine release in your brain, making reading more enjoyable and more likely to become a habit. Or maybe you're trying to save money and stick to a budget. You can use a budgeting app that uses visual cues like graphs and charts to show your progress and categorize your expenses. Seeing your savings grow over time can motivate you to stay on track and make better financial decisions. Now let's go back to the workout example. Instead of waiting until you feel motivated to work out, which may never happen, because motivation is fleeting, you can use the power of gamification to your advantage. Set small, achievable goals for yourself like working out 3 times this week, and reward yourself with something enjoyable after each milestone. For example, commit to working out 3 times this week, and if you achieve that, treat yourself to an episode of your favorite TV show or a delicious meal. Each time you complete a workout, you're not only strengthening your body, but also building a positive association in your brain, making it more likely that you'll stick to your workout routine in the long run. This brings us to another powerful tool, habit stacking. This technique involves pairing a new behavior you want to develop with an existing habit. It's like a 2-for-1 deal for your brain, allowing you to establish new routines effortlessly. Let's take the example of flossing. We all know flossing is good for our teeth and gums, but let's face it, it's not the most exciting habit. So try this. Floss for 30 seconds and then immediately follow it up with something you enjoy, like brushing your teeth with your favorite toothpaste. By linking these two activities together, you turn flossing from a chore into a gateway to something more enjoyable. The brain doesn't even realize it's getting an extra dental hygiene benefit because it's too busy looking forward to that minty, fresh feeling. So, the moral of the story is, don't wait for motivation to strike. Use techniques like gamification and habit stacking to create positive associations and effortless transitions into your desired behaviors. Now let's explore some ways to break bad habits, shall we? Bad habits are just as much a part of human nature as good ones. They offer short-term gratification with long-term consequences. You know, the pleasure of a cigarette followed by potential health issues down the road. The comfort of junk food quickly followed by feelings of guilt and sluggishness. But here's the catch. Our brains love habits. They provide a sense of familiarity and comfort in an unpredictable world. So how do we convince our brains to let go of these habits? Well, it's all about understanding the root cause of any behavior. A study published in the Journal of Neuroscience found that almost all addictive behaviors are linked to a single common factor, the neurotransmitter glutamate. Unlike dopamine, which is associated with pleasure, glutamate is associated with cravings and addiction. You see, when you engage in certain behaviors like drug abuse or excessive social media use, your brain experiences a surge in glutamate levels. Over time, your brain adapts to this surge by reducing the number of glutamate receptors, which means that the activity that once brought you pleasure now requires more and more of that behavior to produce the same effect. This is known as glutamate dysregulation. So, how does glutamate dysregulation manifest itself in everyday life? Let's take smoking, for example. When you smoke, your brain experiences a surge in glutamate, which creates a feeling of pleasure and relaxation. Over time, your brain adapts to this by reducing the number of glutamate receptors. As a result, the pleasurable feeling you once experienced from a cigarette becomes less intense, leading you to crave more and more cigarettes throughout the day. You find yourself constantly needing that nicotine fix to feel the same level of relaxation. This cycle continues, leading to a full-blown addiction. So, to break free from bad habits, we need to tackle glutamate dysregulation head-on. But don't worry, there are effective strategies out there. One approach is to replace the bad habit with a healthy one. Let's say you're trying to quit smoking. You can replace it with something like chewing gum. When you feel the urge to smoke, pop a piece of gum instead. This simple switch can help reduce your cravings because chewing gum provides a similar oral fixation as smoking without the harmful effects. Another approach is to gradually reduce the bad habit instead of quitting cold turkey. If you're trying to cut back on social media use, set limits for yourself and stick to them. Start by reducing your daily usage by 15 minutes and gradually decrease it further over time. This approach allows your brain to adapt more gradually, making it easier to break the cycle of glutamate dysregulation. Now, it's important to remember that breaking bad habits is not a linear process. There will be ups and downs, moments when you feel like you're making progress, and times when you might slip up. The key is to be patient with yourself and celebrate every small victory along the way. Remember, you're not defined by your habits. You're defined by your ability to learn, adapt, and grow. So, whether you're looking to build better habits or break free from bad ones, Remember to use the science of your brain to your advantage. Understand the reward system and harness the power of gamification, pair new behaviors with existing habits using habit stacking, and tackle glutamate regulation when dealing with bad habits. Your brain is a powerful ally in your journey towards self-improvement. That's all for today, my friends. Until next time, keep rewiring your brain for success.